Hello, everybody. Hard to believe this is our last class of the Lisa Longball Spring Tune-Up. So this is class number 5. If you've missed the other 4 classes, you can definitely go back anytime to watch them. And if you want to rewatch this one, absolutely. As soon as I'm done here today, we will be posting it to the Golftown Facebook page, Golftown YouTube channel, and my Lisa Longball Facebook page and YouTube channel. So what is today's lesson all about? We have covered it all, but the short game. We talked about putting last time, but today I'm going to share one more key power tip: pitching and chipping. And believe you me, that is going to help drop those strokes and shave off those strokes. So Maureen, hello. You are from my hometown in Calgary. Welcome. Thrilled that you're watching. And we're going to have a great day today. So we're going to as I mentioned, we want to make sure we start with that key distance tip, and then I'm going to do pitching and chipping. So lots to cover today, and I think you're going to love it. I see Yvette has joined us. Hello, Yvette. Thank you so much. And Donna from Saskatchewan. Thanks so much for joining us, Donna. Hopefully that snow has melted out there in Saskatchewan. All right, let's talk about distance. Now, last class we talked about driving and putting, but there was one more key distance tip I wanted to teach you. Now, this distance tip isn't just for driver. It's also for every club in your bag for full swing. So this tip will help you add distance to all your clubs, not just driver, but you're definitely going to see it on the driver as well. I just want to do one more shout. I see Peggy from Michigan here. The 5 weeks did go fast, Peggy. And I see that Lisa, my fellow Lisa, is joining me from Alabama. Thanks, Lisa. I so appreciate your kind note. And Penny from Southern Alberta. Awesome. All right, well, here we go. What is that one key distance tip that is going to help every single one of you add distance to every club in your bag? Well, this is it right here. The key distance tip is this. Now, when you're swinging, I talked to you about the importance of course, turn the shirt, turn the pants. If you don't know that, go back to a previous video of one of my 5 and you'll see it. If this is the upper half of the body and this is the lower half, we want to wind up with the top and unwind from the bottom. Wind up with the top, unwind with the bottom. So that's turn the shirt in the backswing, turn the pants in the downswing. Now, here's the key distance tip. When you turn the shirt in the backswing, if you want a little extra power, what you're going to want to do is you want to load into your back foot, into the instep of your back foot. So let me demonstrate. If you were about to swing, when you, again, I mentioned for great turn, you want to start your backswing with your lead shoulder. So that's your left shoulder for my righties, right shoulder for my lefties. Start the backswing with your lead shoulder, and you're going to turn the shirt. So that means you want to get that chest to face behind you. Again, if I showed you from this way, start your backswing with your lead shoulder, and you want that chest to face directly behind you at the top of your backswing. Now, here's the key. When you get your chest to face directly behind you at the top of your backswing, I want you to feel like you have pressure on the instep of that that trail foot. So as you make that turn, you want to feel pressure right in here, right on the instep of that back foot. Now, here's a huge power leak. I was at the World Long Drive Championships, and I placed second to the 5-time world champion Sandra Karlberg by 3 yards. And when I looked back at the video, when I watched myself, I saw that I let weight sneak out to the outside of my back foot. That was a power leak. So it's so important. You're always trying to see, how can I get as much power and distance? Now, I've also had many people ask me in the chat and afterwards, Lisa, I have trouble with, I can turn the shirt, but how do I get my pants to start moving? How do I get my pants, my skirt, turn the shirt, turn the skirt? Here's the deal. If you load into that instep of that back foot, it's so much easier to push off of that, to turn the guts, to turn the lead pocket, to turn the belt buckle, whatever it is that makes you turn. And of course, we do not ever want to slide. So again, when you turn the shirt, so that's starting your backswing with your lead shoulder, I want you to feel pressure, tons of pressure on the instep of your back foot. Don't let it sneak to the outside of your foot. That's a big power leak, and that's going to rob you of distance with every club in your bag. So at the top of turn your shirt, feel that pressure. So once you feel that pressure at the instep of the top foot and it's time to turn the pants, don't forget, leave the shirt. Don't turn the shirt. You should not, in the downswing, ever start with your arms, or you've got to create that coil and torque. So once you've turned the shirt, you've got pressure onto the instep of that back foot, you're going to turn the guts, but it's so much easier to do that if you have pressure on that instep of that back foot. Try this at home. Try it without a ball first. Try it in your backyard or a park across the street. No ball. Practice getting to the top of your backswing. Feel what it feels like to get pressure into the instep of that back foot, and then turn the skirt, turn the pants by pushing off that instep. I promise you, you will add yardage to your game. And don't forget, finish your golf swing, finish your golf swing, finish your golf swing. All right, I see that Mickey has joined us, started teaching, turn the shirt, turn the skirt. Yes, love that you're doing that. It is awesome. And Doris, thrilled that you love my sessions. Thank you so much. I really appreciate it. And Maria, you're glued to your iPad. Yes, I love it. Okay, that tip is going to be money. So make sure if you don't understand it, go back to watch this video, and I promise you, you'll love it. All right, that was our one key power tip. Let's get into pitching. Now, what is pitching? People always ask me, what's the difference between pitching and chipping? Well, I see pitching, I use pitching sort of at that 10 yards out, 10 yards up to, for me, I'd call it 80 yards. So 80 yards is when I use a full swing with a wedge. So that's for me when I use a full swing with a wedge. But pitching is when you want the ball to come up high and you're going to have it land typically softly. Now, there's other ways we can pitch it. It doesn't always have to be high. It can come in lower, but I kind of call it that 10 yards to 8, let's call it 80 yards is when I look at pitching. And chipping is, in my opinion, 5 to 10 yards off the green. That's when I'm chipping. That's a lower shot. That's going to stay and get on the green faster. And it's definitely a lower shot and closer to the green. So pitching, holy cow, how many times have you been on a par 4 or in a par 5 and you're 30, 40, 50, 60 yards from the green? I hate that distance. I hate that distance. So what do you do with that? Well, I got some great tips from my PGA of Canada instructor, Paul Horton. He's absolutely fantastic. And don't forget, always go see your PGA of Canada, PGA of America, PGA instructor, LPGA instructor to help give you the tips that you need for your swing. But this is what my coach taught me, and I love it. All right, here are the fundamentals for pitching. For pitching, my coach Paul likes to see the ball position still 3 to 4 inches, off that lead foot. So remember, in my previous lesson, when I talked about ball position, eyeball the ball in the middle of your feet, simply move the lead foot the width of a club head or about 3 inches or so. That's still great. Now, my coach Paul likes to see a narrower stance. So don't go back foot to comfort. You should have a narrower stance inside that would be inside of the width of your shoulders. All right. So narrower stance. He likes to see the ball position 3 to 4 inches off the lead foot. And then he likes to see 70% of the weight on that front side. 70% on the front, 30% on the back. 70% on the front, 30% on the back. You kind of want to think of set it and forget it. Set 70% here and forget it. The worst thing you can do in pitching is when you're moving all over the place. So you want to set that weight on that front side and forget it. Now, here's something that you have to remember in golf. There are many, many, many ways to do things and get a wonderful result in golf. This is just one pitching method. So please don't say, well, Lisa, I do this, or I was told to do this. Awesome. There's many ways to make a great golf shot. This is what my coach has taught me, so it's something that you can try. All right, so we're going to make sure the fundamentals, we're going to have that ball placement 3 to 4 inches off the instep of the lead foot. We're going to have a narrower stance. We're going to have 70% of the weight on that front side. Set it and forget it. Set it and forget it. Make sure it stays there the whole time. Now, as for the stroke itself, this is what my coach Paul loves to teach. He loves to teach to make sure that you want to pivot around your body still. Now, you're still keeping that weight on the front side, but it's not an arms movement. It's not an arms movement. You still have to rotate your body. There's still a rotation of the body. So you're going to make a rotation of the body, still same grip and everything else you do. Keep 70% of the weight on the front side. You're going to rotate your body, and then you, of course, have to brush the grass and rotate through. Rotate your body and brush the grass and rotate through. So you know, if I told you one of the 3 things that you take from my clinics, one of those key 3 things, brush the grass. If you don't brush the grass in a pitch shot, you're going to skull it. It's not going to have the result you want. You have to brush the grass. Now, here's a key difference in pitching. I've been teaching a lot of full swing things where I talked to you last class about Ernie Els. 2 beats in the backswing, 1 in the downswing, because we want to create speed. Never in the backswing, but in the downswing. For full swing, I wanted you to create speed, not in pitching. Short game is completely different than long game. Don't confuse the two, because that will really help. That will make you struggle with your short game. So in short game and in pitching, you want to have same tempo back, same tempo through. Same tempo back, same tempo through. That's key. Now, this is the game changer for me for pitching. This was my aha moment for pitching. I love this. I believe in measurable. You know that I've talked to you over these last 5 weeks about measurable. Anytime we can make things measurable, I think that we can change things quickly in our golf swing. So measurable. You can pitch with a sand wedge, with a pitching wedge, with a 9-iron, so you can pitch with any number of clubs. This is what I like to do. I like to have measurable. So I like to think of it as, when I do pitching, I get that ball position, 3 to 4 inches off the instep of the lead foot. I have a narrower stance, 70% of the weight on the front side, set it and forget it. I'm gonna pivot around my body, still keeping the 70% here. I'm gonna make sure I brush the grass, and I'm not gonna change my tempo. Same tempo back, same tempo through. Same tempo back, same tempo through. It's not an aggressive shot. Now, here's the key. Measurable. I like to try with my sand wedge, with my pitching wedge, with my 9-iron. So 3 different types of shots. I like to go ankle to ankle. To me, that's measurable. Same distance back, same distance through. Then I like to see knee to knee. Then I try hip to hip. And then I would do that with my sand wedge. Then I'll try it with my 9-iron. Or sorry, should I say pitching wedge? I'd go ankle to ankle, keeping that 70% of the weight. I would go knee to knee, still pivoting around my body, and hip to hip. And then if I had a longer pitch shot, I would try it with a 9-iron. Holy cow. Next time, I need you to go to the golf course to practice this. Go to the driving range and practice. What does your ankle to ankle look like? What does your knee to knee? What does your hip to hip look like with your sand wedge, with your pitching wedge, with your 9-iron? I think this is a game changer. Don't forget, you need to brush the grass, and you need to make sure you pivot around your body, but keep 70% of the weight on the front side. So for me, now you can go in pitching. You can definitely go, for me, I like kind of waist to waist as the very highest back I would go. I always think in golf, the longer our swing, the more things that can go wrong. So you could go shoulder to shoulder, but that's if you feel control. So that's totally a personal preference. I find when I go shoulder to shoulder, more things can go wrong, shoulder to shoulder. So I like to more waist to waist would be the highest I go. But heck, if you can do shoulder to shoulder, keeping 70% of the weight on the front side and making sure you pivot around the body, brush the grass. It's a downward strike. You want to brush that grass and, again, not accelerate your pace. It's a nice, even pace back and through. And I'm telling you, it is a game changer. You are absolutely going to love it. So let me do a demonstration for you here. All right, what do I have here? I'm going to switch to, let's get a 9-iron. So I've got a 9-iron. So again, when you're pitching, you don't just have to use your pitching wedge, sand wedge. You can use a 52-degree wedge or a gap wedge, a wedge. You can use a 9-iron. Again, so many different choices depending on how long your shot is, but same technique. Here we go. All right, let's make sure you can see me here. So I go feet together, move my lead foot 3 to 4 inches, then I narrow my stance, but I put 70% of the weight on the front side, 70%. I'm going to try about a knee-to-knee shot here. Knee to knee, I'm going to pivot around my body, brush my grass. Same tempo. Here we go. Knee to knee. Oh, if you saw that height of it, it was perfect. So again, make sure you have to go practice this before you take it on the golf course so that you know your differences. Jill Johnson, absolutely, tick-tock, like a metronome, just what I taught in putting last week. Tick-tock, tick-tock. Exactly. You don't want it to go faster. Not in short game. In full swing, you bet I do, but not in short swing. Christine, I was brushing the grass today. Boom, boom. That's what I love to hear, Christine. That's awesome. And Diane, thank you for joining us, Diane and Jim. I just saw Diane at my golf school in Kelowna, so that's so cool that you're watching. And I believe you're in Cranbrook right now, so thanks for joining us. And Kathy, you make it look easy. Kathy, I promise with a little extra practice with doing those techniques, you're going to love it, and it's going to be easy for you too. All right, so far, we've talked about the key tip for distance, which is load that weight into the instep of the back foot, and that's how you start turn the pants. So any of you struggling with turn the pants, turn the skirt, turn the shorts, that's how, if you get that weight onto the instep and push off of that, you're going to love it. Then we've talked about pitching. You've got all, if you go back to watch this video, if you want to watch those key tips, and now let's talk about chipping. Oh, this is my favorite. I love chipping. For any of you who have watched my previous videos, you might have heard of the flamingo. What's the flamingo? Well, I wore my pink today in honor of a flamingo. And so what is the flamingo? Now, the flamingo is a chipping technique that I use, and I love it. As I said earlier, there are many, many ways to chip. This is one way that works for me. So please don't think, well, Lisa says this is the only way to chip. Not at all. Many ways to chip. So definitely go see your PGA of Canada and PGA of America coach and see what works for you. But this is what I love. All right, I'm just going to do one more shout out. I see Christy from Greenwood has joined us. Thank you so much. Terry, this is the worst part of your game. Terry, this is going to be a game changer. I promise you. And Guy, oh, thrilled that you love the TikTok. And I'll do one more to Mary. Love the sessions. Wish you were around 20 years ago. Yes, you can still learn, and thrilled that you're watching now. And I promise you by the end of the season, your scores are going to drop. All right, let's talk about chipping. This technique to me is easy. I like to make it something that is repeatable and super easy. And I think this is going to change many of your chipping games, those of you who really struggle. Now, what are the two worst things that we do in chipping? We chili dip it or chunk it, which we kind of hit behind it and it flubs forward just a little bit. Or we scull it across the green and it goes flying across the green. Two terrible things for our golf scores. If you follow the flamingo technique, I promise you it'll work. Now, many people say to me, oh, that's for beginners, Lisa. Well, heck, I'm a single-digit handicap, and this is how I chip, so I'm telling you, I love it, and I think you're going to love it too. And I've had lots of great feedback from all my golf schools from women who love the flamingo. So let's show you the flamingo technique. Now, the flamingo technique, here we go. The flamingo technique is very, very simple. What you're going to do for the flamingo technique is this. The ball position is exactly the same as I've taught you. If you've missed the ball position video, go back. I believe that was week 1. I believe week 1 we did ball position, or week 2. But you go back to watch it if you missed it. Now, ball position, feet together. Simply move the lead foot the width of a club head. Now, here's the difference. I want to see 100% of the weight on the lead side. 100%. Almost that you could literally stand like a flamingo on one leg. That's where the name comes from. 100% of the weight on the lead leg. And it never, ever, 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 never shifts back. It stays there the whole time. And I actually only put my big toe down. The reason I only put my big toe down is that because that's not something to balance on. So if I shift backwards right away, I know that that's not working very well. So that's why 100% of the weight on the front side, just my big toe. Now here's the keys to the flamingo. Now, just like the full swing, posture and full swing, arms hang naturally. What do I mean by arms hang naturally? They just hang from your shoulder joints. Now, because 100% of the weight is on the front side, as you hang your arms down, the butt end of the club will face your lead hip. One of the biggest mistakes I see from a lot of golfers is they're like, oh, they're so used to making sure the butt end of the club faces their belly button. No, 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 no. I'm finger wagging you. No, 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 no. Don't replace that butt end of the club to your belly button. You have to have it face the lead hip or you're going to struggle. Okay? So it's feet together. Move the lead foot the width of a club head. 100% of the weight on the front side. Just the big toe. Arms hang naturally. Butt end of the club is going to face your lead hip. Now, what you're going to do is you are going to keep a triangle, much like putting, much like what we did last week. And you have to have that tick-tock, and you're simply going to make a putting stroke. No wrists. I don't want to see any movement of the wrists, all right? Wrists, just like putting, no wrists. You're going to keep that triangle, no wrists. You're going to make a putting stroke, okay? So once you're in that position, you're going to make a putting stroke, simply a putting stroke. And the only way this works is if you brush the grass. If you do not brush the grass, you are going to scull this ball across the green. So you have to brush the grass. So I'm a huge believer in a few practice swings before you chip. Again, watch the PGA and LPGA tour players. They don't just walk up to a chip and chip it. They try to feel that grass brush. So watch what they do, because that's going to lead to success. So one more time, I'm going to lead you through it. Here we go. It's going to be ball position. I want feet together. Simply move the lead foot the width of a club head. 100% of the weight on the front side. Just the back toe on. Then you're going to let your arms hang naturally from your shoulder joints. Butt end of the club is going to face your lead hip. All right. Then you're going to make sure the ball is nicely squared in the center of your club face. You're going to make simply a putting stroke. Do not break your wrists. Do not break your wrists. Here we go. Oh, beautiful. And look, it's already bounced back to me here. I'll show one the other way just to show you what it looks like. Okay. So feet together. Move the lead foot the width of a club head, 100% of the weight on the front side, just the back toe down, arms hang naturally, butt end of the club to the lead hip, don't redirect it to your belly button, and you're simply going to brush the grass. And as you saw, that came up beautifully. Now, here's the secret sauce. Here's the secret sauce. You're going to use that technique, but switch the club. So when I have a short flag, I would use a 60 degrees or sand wedge for a short flag, like a red flag. If I have a middle of the green flag, like a white flag, I would probably use a 9-iron, probably a 9-iron, pitching wedge or 9-iron. And it's the same technique. I'm just switching the club. And if I was to have a flag at the back of the green, like a blue flag, I would use a 7-iron. Now that's also referred to as a bump and run. Now these are ballpark, but for your 60-degree wedge, sand, 9 pitching wedge, the ball will ballpark fly half the way, roll half the way. Because again, for a good chipper, you always want to pick a spot. You can't pretend the green is dead flat all the time. You need to read your green. So when you're chipping, I want to see you get down. You're going to pick a spot on the green that you want this ball to land. So you have to look for undulations. Remember last week in putting, I told you want to pretend like you're pouring a bucket of water on the green. How would the water flow? So where's the high point? You're going to aim at that high point. If it's uphill, if it's downhill, you want to take that all into consideration. But again, I taught you about the intermediate target. So when we talked about alignment, you can go back into one of my previous videos to watch alignment. But I have an intermediate target when I chip as well. I have a spot. I'm trying to get this ball to land that I want this ball to travel on. That is huge. That is huge. So super, super important that you do that. And I just simply switch the club. I think it's brilliant. So I see Penny. Yes, she said she's enjoying this. That's awesome. And Louise, do you choke up on your club? Great question. Now, because you are simply closer to the ball, so because you, by simply with the stroke, where you have feet together, move the lead foot the width of a club head, arms hang naturally, you're closer to the ball. Yes, I probably grip near the bottom of my grip on closer to the metal. Absolutely. Now, I don't intentionally choke down, but it's just when I let my arms hang naturally and I lean forward and I'm closer to my ball, then absolutely you'll be naturally choking down on your club. Great question. Judy says she loves the flamingo, and Deb's watching here. Ginny, can't wait to try these chipping tips next time you get to the range. That's absolutely awesome. I promise you'll love it. So again, next time you're at the practice facility, try a sand wedge. Pull out a sand wedge, a 9-iron, and a 7-iron, and go onto the green, practice a short distance, a mid distance, and a long distance. Same technique, just switch the club. And I promise you, you will love this. Now, the only difference is, I told you for sand wedge and pitching wedge 9-iron, that the ball will about fly half the way, roll half the way. For 7-iron, this is a little bit different. It's a lower lofted club. So the first two should be going up in the air a little bit, but the 7-iron will stay low to the ground because it has less loft. So it will fly a third ballpark, roll 2/3. Fly a third, roll 2/3 for that 7-iron. So when you're picking that spot to land it on, and you know that it's going to track, fly a third, 2/3. I promise you, the flamingo, mwah, you are going to love the flamingo. You're going to love the flamingo. Now, here's another great chipping trick that is absolutely awesome. Oh, you're going to love it. It's my hybrid chipping tip. All right. So, hybrid chipping. Now, whoo-wee, this is awesome. A lot of people think, oh, well, the hybrid, Lisa, this is your 3 hybrid. It replaces your 3-iron. You bet it does. I can hit it 200 and some yards. But here's the deal. You can also use this for your short game. That's why I love the hybrid. Super versatile club. Well, you ask me, when would you use a hybrid for your short game? Aha! Chipping. Patty, I see that you've joined. Patty, you've said you've loved these tips and you're going to try them. Awesome. And Judith, oh, wonderful that you've joined us. I'm glad you're getting so much better at this. I had a chance to work personally with Judith, so that's awesome. And I see Jennifer Doe is watching and Pam Heisler. Awesome. Okay, what is the hybrid chipping technique? This is so easy. You're going to go, how did I never do this before? Now, when would you use the hybrid? Now, the hybrid can be used any part on the green. So I like to use it when it's a back flag or mid flag, but heck, you can absolutely use it if it's a short flag. You just want to get used to that feel. It's awesome when you have a tight lie. What's a tight lie? A tight lie means you don't have a lot of poofy grass. Poofy, is that super technical? If we have any superintendents watching, they might tell me, Lisa, poofy isn't really a term we use in the superintendent's field. But you know that nice poofy grass that it's easy to chip off of? We often don't get that early in the season. So those of you in North America who have winters, long winters, you might have around the green, it might be a little dry, the grass hasn't grown or isn't that nice fluffy green. Or like in Texas, you'll hear it called the Texas wedge when people putt from off the green. And hey, remember, I said last week, if you can putt. I love that. But this is great when putting really isn't an option or it would be too long of a stroke. So if you have a tight lie, which means not a lot of poofy grass, you have a lot of distance to cover, or you just have some uneven ground that you have to go over and maybe chipping isn't an option. this is what you want to pull out. You're going to pull out your hybrid. Now, here's the technique for the hybrid chip. You are going to love this. So the hybrid chipping technique is simply this. You are going to put the ball position exactly where you would for your putter, which is slightly ahead, slightly forward in your stance, all right? You are going to hold your hybrid exactly like you would hold your putter. So however you hold your putter, I want you, this is my putting grip. And again, what you have to remember for putting, putting is the one thing that you can be super personalized. There are so many different ways. There's the saw, there's the claw, there's a more traditional, there's left hand low, there's so many different, bottom hand low. There's so many different ways that you can hold a putter, and they're all great. It's whatever works best for you. So I want you to hold the hybrid like you hold your putter. Now just be careful because your hybrid is a lot longer and it's easy for your hybrid to catch on your shirt. So just be careful it doesn't catch on your shirt, especially for ladies who aren't super tall. Just be careful it doesn't catch onto your shirt. So hold your hybrid like you would hold your putter. Ball position is exactly for putting. So it would be slightly ahead of your stance. So you're standing quite close to the ball here. Make sure it doesn't catch. Now, this is not the flamingo. Even though it's a chip, it's not the flamingo. Your weight is 50-50, just like it would be in putting. Flamingo, 100-0, 100-0. But the chipping technique for hybrid is like a putt. So 50-50 weight, not like the flamingo, okay? So we're going to hold the hybrid like a putter. Ball position is exactly like for putting, slightly ahead in my stance. And then simply, what you're going to do, you're going to make a putting stroke. So no wrists. Same as the flamingo, no wrists. You've got your triangle shoulder to shoulder and to your hands, and you're simply going to rock your shoulders. Tick, tock, just like I taught you last week. Tick, tock. I'm going to do it this way to show you as well. Wait till you see. This is on a rope. You could do this on your carpet at home. This will blow your mind. Literally, when you make this chip, it will be like a rope. You won't believe how straight it is, all right? So here we go. I'm going to go feet together. I'm going to hold just like my putt. I'm going to be slightly ahead of normal, of the middle of my stance, should I say, like a putt. I'm going to hold the hybrid like a putter. I'm not going to crack my wrists. It's going to be exactly like a putting stroke. I'm just going to rock my shoulders like a putt. Oh, man, I'm telling you, you are going to love that hybrid chip. And again, practice it. Practice the next time you're at the practice facility and on course. I promise you're going to be like, oh, that is money. I wish I knew that years ago. So those short game tips are going to be super helpful for you. So thank you for joining me, everyone. I am so excited. I played my first round of golf this weekend. I got to go to Heritage Point, my home course, with my son and my husband. And we went out. It was 3:30 in the afternoon. We played till 8 at night. The sun was shining. I looked up at the beautiful blue sky and just took it in. Go out there. Go out and play. Go out and play. Enjoy this great game. I hope you all have a phenomenal season. If you need a little refresh, you can go back and watch any of my videos anytime on the Golf Town Facebook page or YouTube channel, or my Facebook page at Lisa Longball, or YouTube channel at Lisa Longball. Now on my YouTube channel, if you click playlists, you'll find instructional videos, and every single video I have ever taught. So every Golf Town video I've ever taught is in that playlist, and anything new I do, I will add to that playlist. So go check it out. I hope my tips have helped you hit it longer, straighter, better, and that those scores are dropping this season. I hope you get many birdies out there and eagles, and just, again, get out and play, have fun, big smiles. I see Liz says thank you very much. Peggy, thank you. Laverne Martin, great to hear from you. Thanks. Candy Christmas, so happy you played with the family. Candy sent me some flamingos just this week. I was over the moon. Wait till you see my new flamingo poach that Candy sent me. It's absolutely unbelievable. And I see, is it Line? She's going to use her hybrid for sure. And Helen, thanks so much. Have a great summer. So thanks so much for joining me, everyone. If I missed you, I will go back and comment on anyone who commented. Thank you for joining me. And again, go back and feel free to follow me on Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook at Lisa Longball. And my website's lisalongball.com if you want to know anything about me, my golf schools for women, or any of my corporate events. So thanks so much for joining, everyone. Go long. Bye, everybody.